Alrighty. Good morning, my friends. How we doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another beautiful day. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good morning. Jose, Margin, Mario, Aldo, Ponzi, Thunder, 3D Printer, Brown Chick, Dino's Den. I don't know. I don't think that's how you say it, but that's how I say it. Hamster, Chef. Nice job on Nvidia yesterday, Chef. Hell yeah. Anna, Gareth, Thunder. What a move yesterday, yeah. Yeah, I mean, definitely partially a short squeeze for sure, right? Because everyone was sort of, I'm sure there was a lot of short action, right, on the last few weeks. So definitely probably a little bit of short. The mic's not too low. It's clipping. That means it's too loud, actually. So if you want me to put it up, it's going to sound like shit. So turn it up. Turn it up. Snowy cold Nebraska. Damn. Yeah, it's cold out there, huh? In the Northeast. What is it up there? Holy shit. Wow. I didn't realize there's such a system going across the Is that gonna zoom in? That's a big system going across the northeast over there. Damn. How cold is it in Wisconsin right now? Wisconsin's getting slammed. 30 degrees? That's not too bad. Turn that shit up. Alrighty. Welcome back. Hope you guys had a good day yesterday. My day was you guys saw it. If you watched my video yesterday, you saw my day. It was good. You know, it was a trading day, right? That's how you could best describe yesterday. A trading day. A real life, a real example, a no BS, a no guru trading day, right? You start really nice. You take that one extra trade. You give back some profits. It's going to happen. It's absolutely going to happen. So yeah, that's how it goes, right? It's part of the game. It's part of the game. It's definitely something that we're going to experience as traders, as real traders, as people that risk and involved in trading on a daily basis. So that was my day yesterday. Started really nicely, gave back some profits. If you want to see the full breakdown, make sure to check out my video from yesterday. Yeah. Sound much better? Yeah, it's if you check out if I was comparing my videos from yesterday and then previously, the sound quality is insanely better. The sound deadening in this room is wild. It's wild. It's pretty fun to just listen to music in here. Sounds like a studio. So I'm happy. I'm hopefully it provides some good content for some of you guys. Hopefully the investment back into the channel pays off for me. That's really what I hope. And yeah, hopefully YouTube starts pushing out my videos to more people. Hopefully we reach some more people out there. That's the goal. But if we don't, then we just stick here and we keep doing our thing, man. We stay in our corner, right? We stay in our lane. That's nothing wrong with that. Stay in your lane. Continue to provide to the people that support you. And that's it. Larry, what's going on, Larry? I appreciate that, man. Hopefully you're feeling better, Larry. Hopefully all is good. All right. Let's get started. Here we go. So, for Forex Factory economic calendar. Let's start there. So you guys saw yesterday a little bit of action late day off that consumer credit, but really nothing. Really nothing. That's not my new PC, actually. I have a new one coming today, which is a whole hell of a lot better. This is an old one that I have. How many hours do I sleep per night? Yesterday, I went to bed a little bit late yesterday, but typically I like to go to bed around 11. 11's my bedtime, man. 11 is where I need to start going to sleep. 11 to around 7, 6:30. So what is that? That's like 8 hours. 8 hours is what I really like to get. If I get anything less than like 7 hours, I can feel it in the morning. I can feel a little bit groggy in the morning. So I'm an old man now, man. I need my sleep. I need my sleep. The new PC, it's 64 gigs of DDR5. It's a 4070 Ti, and it's the Intel 14900K. That's the new one I'm getting. So that'll be a beast. I'm excited to start doing stuff on that, and hopefully get some streams going, some gaming streams. So yeah. Today is Tuesday. That is the day. And we don't have too much. Trade balance 830. We'll see if there's anything there. Tentative on the economic optimism. I don't think that matters at all. And then FOMC member Barr speaking at 12 o'clock. So really nothing today. Nothing that I'm freaking out about. Nothing that I'm too worried about on the economic side. Tomorrow, you get a little bit heavier. 10-year bond auction. That's something to be watching tomorrow around 1 o'clock. So keep an eye on that bond auction. Obviously, if you come here in the live stream, I'll remind you about it. And then Thursday is really where it starts to go, right? Thursday is where it really starts to get going. CPI on Thursday, unemployment on Thursday, 30-year bond auction on Thursday, and then your PPI to close the week. All right? So that's about it. On the economic side. Let's just jump right into this. The craziness that ensued yesterday. So yesterday, just an insane and pretty awesome, right? For the long-term portfolio, I'm not complaining, right? I mean, hey, it is what it is. Let's go ahead and actually check on that long-term. Why not? Because the long-term, on a day like yesterday, and I talked to the group about this, on a day like yesterday where you maybe miss out on some of the upside on options and you sort of mess it up, and you're like, oh, man, it was really nice upside. I didn't catch it, right? That's going to happen. You're not going to catch every move on the market. You know what's great? It's great to have a long-term portfolio. It's great to have a long-term portfolio that takes advantage of the upside. And I think yesterday, it's not showing me here on on M1. But here's my M1. Here's a little update on my M1 account. Yesterday was just about a $3,000 day on the long term. So $103,000 to $106,000. So a $3,000 day on the long-term portfolio. So even if I'm missing out, let's say on options contracts, I'm taking advantage of the upside on individual shares, right? And so it's a little trick you can play. I recommend it personally as a trader. If you do trade on a daily basis, I recommend having a long-term portfolio because it's going to keep that FOMO down just a little bit, right? Because you saw the big upside yesterday. Maybe you didn't catch it with options, but you can say, hey, look at my long-term, man. This is awesome. So that's something I would recommend. You don't have to do it, but it is a recommendation there in my opinion. It's something that I would want to be a part of. So regardless of that, let's get into the futures. Let's get into the action. Let's jump right into the Nasdaq. So what happened yesterday, right? Yesterday, we broke the key supply levels. So let's start there. Let's go into the short term and let's really break down sort of that short term picture. Yesterday, we had, right, the Thursday and Friday highs on the market, on the Nasdaq futures. We had the Thursday and Friday highs around that 16,575, 16,580. And after breaking that level yesterday, it was pretty much off to the races, right? We broke the double top highs right around that 16,580. And if we go to the 1-minute chart, we will see, I mean, look at how pretty this was, right? Look at this. And this is something, unfortunately, I missed, right? Because around this time, I was actually short Amazon. And that's why I sort of missed this upside move. Around that time, I was short Amazon. And I was short, you guys saw it in my video yesterday, I was shorting here, sort of taking profits. I was managing my position. And I guess I just sort of missed. I guess my attention was not in the correct spot. But this hold over 16,580, right? Look at this hold right here. This was, the funding bill has a lot to do with it. I agree, Piff. I agree. This hold right here, intraday yesterday, around that 16,580, right there. This is between around 9:45 and 10 o'clock. That hold right there was a major key for further upside on this Nasdaq market. After holding that 16,580, you've pushed to the upside. And then what happened next, right? You held the 16,630. So yesterday was actually a really nice level-to-level upside move, right? So if I go back to the hourly chart, right, we can see we have one that's 16,580, which is those previous highs, and then that 16,630, which was these previous lows. And we saw a really clean level-to-level move to the upside. Now, of course, I was looking for that supply rejection at one of those levels on the ES. Didn't work, took my loss. It was just a grinder and a really nice upside move from level to level. Now, where are we looking at today, right? And it's pretty big. It's a pretty big zone, and you can see it right here. We have sort of this previous consolidation low around this 16,800. We have this previous little rejection at 16,800, and you can see the other thing that's right here, and it's the 20 SMA. All right, so let me go ahead and zoom in here on the 30-minute, or actually go to the 15-minute, and we can see the Nasdaq pushed into the 20 SMA to end the day, and that is exactly where it saw some of a pullback, right? So the 20 SMA, this is going to be the level that we need to break for that upside continuation. This is going to be our new level, this 16,800, right there, 16,800. We are going to need that level to turn into a new support for upside continuation on this market. 16,800, okay? That's a big one. So watch that level above. Make sure you have that marked out on the Nasdaq futures. Where do I want to see a pullback today for potential long entries? I would not mind to look for a pullback to this area right here, right? This previous Tuesday low, this previous Wednesday high, and if we pull back to that 16,630 today, this could be a really interesting long entry on maybe some type of a break and retest long. All right, so yes, we are rejecting, and here, let me go ahead and let me take a step back, okay? Let me take a step back. This is going to be a difficult trading day, and here is why. Emotionally, this is a very hard day, right? Here's why. Because the market has been going down, right, in the short term. Yesterday, you have a big push to the upside, right? So you have that, you have a little bit of, oh, maybe this is going higher. So now, today is the day, right? Today is the day that decides that whether that upside move yesterday is something that withstands and pushes higher, or we give it back, right? So there's going to be a lot of bias coming into your mind today, without a doubt. Without a doubt, there's going to be bias in your mind. There's going to be, I don't think that upside was real, I'm shorting any supply. Or there's going to be, I think this should move higher. Where's the demand I look for? I'm going to try to play this long continuation. It's going to be difficult, and there's no doubt about that. I literally woke up this morning. I saw the downside on the futures while I was laying in my bed, and I said, man, today's going to be a little difficult, right? You're really going to have to lock in today because there is upside yesterday. There's some downside in this pre-market. There might be a little bit of interest because of that downside to potentially short this move, right? But that could also be something that is just a pullback for new long entry. So you have to really stay open to either side today, right? Because you're seeing both things right now, right? You're seeing one, the 20 SMA rejection, right, which could lead to further downside, or you could just be seeing a pullback long opportunity. So definitely a day to really lock in. All right, definitely a day to really lock in and really watch these levels. I think the perfect pullback level for me today is here, right? That's really the level I'd like to see the Nasdaq back to for potential longs, back in this 630 area. If we get lower than 630, you still have this, right? You still have these lows as well, right? These highs right here, right? So it's going to be difficult. I would not want to short into this area at all, right? I don't think I want to be short if we start trading towards this 630 or towards this 580, right? Because you're shorting back into those highs and you're shorting back into those levels there. So if you start trading to the downside here, be a little bit careful around that 630 and that 580, right? Those could be potential long entries. So watch those pullbacks today. Now, where do I think a potential short could arise? The short that I would really look for today is a push and fail back at the 20 SMA. That would be the short that I would probably only be interested in. If we can push and fail back at the 20, that would be a weak move in my opinion, right? Because this is a big pop, a little bit of a pullback opportunity, another push, bulls fail that hold, right? This could be the short that you look for up at that 20 SMA and that 16.8. So I don't want to be short randomly here, right? I don't want to be short randomly here. I would want to see a pop back into the 20, right? And see if that starts to turn into a rejection again. If it does, then you have decent risk reward short here back towards that 16,630. All right, that would really be one of the only short entries I'd look for today is if we can get that pop and rejection. All right, but I need to be careful on that, right? Because you saw yesterday, some supply levels did not reject, right? So I have to be cautious on that as well. If that supply level right up here does not reject today, then I need to be careful getting too aggressive on that short idea. So a little bit cautious there. The other short entry that you could look for here is a break under. In my opinion, it would be a break under the 580. If you get back under the Thursday, Friday highs, that would be, in my opinion, very weak, right? Because you are failing back under those two highs. If you fail back under those two highs, I would assume the market flips, right? Back to the downside, okay? So right now, what we're currently doing, in my eyes, is nothing but a pullback, okay? Right now, this is nothing but a pullback because you are still holding above demands that could hold, right? I think these two demands could very well be holds around that 16,630 and that 16,580. So you're watching demands. If you pull back to these levels and start to see some resiliency, these could be longs. If you fall back under the 580, I don't mind that short back under that Thursday, Friday high. And if you push out of the gates back into supply and you start to see rejections, look to see if we fail at that 20 again. Now, if we just rip over this 20, hold above yesterday's highs, you're moving higher, right? You're moving higher into that 16.9. All right? So that's the plan on the Nasdaq right now, right? I think just a pullback, you got to pay attention to these longs here, right? You got to pay attention to these demands below. Be careful of being too aggressive short, right? What could happen today is you start to think, oh, hey, this is a weak move, right? This is a fake move. I'm shorting into this move. You start shorting, and then bam, right? So be careful back at that 16,630. That could be the demand to watch for. All right, QQQ. So QQQ, the two demand hold levels that I would be watching today is this 402 and then back to this 400, right? Those would be the two levels that I would look for to see if they hold. If we pull back to 402, does it hold? If we pull back to 400, that's really the ideal long entry in my eyes, is a pullback to 400, right, and sort of bounce off that 400. For those fib boys out there, that's probably a pretty decent retracement. Yeah, that's exactly the 50% retracement to the T, right? Exactly 400 is the 50% retracement today. So if we pull back to that 400, we pull back to these highs, pull back into that key 400 level. If we pull back into that 50% retracement, that could be your long entry. That could be the spot to look for that new long, right? If we get that retracement back into the 400. So be careful being short into 400. On the QQQ, right? You would be shorting back into highs that could turn into a new demand on a little break and retest retracement back to that level. So watch 400. I think that's very key today. You could also watch this 402. I don't think it's as major, but there are some previous levels at this 402 to pay attention to. All right, so 402, 400, those are my two potential rejection points. I'm sorry, demand hold levels if you get a pullback. If you fall under 400 today and reject, that's where this flips, right? That's where this market flips. And then the major supply above on the QQQ is right here, which you have not tested yet, right? You didn't even get to it yesterday. Excuse me. Sorry. The major supply above is here, right? 406.50, 406.50, 406.50, 406.50, 406.50, 406.50, 406.50 is that big QQQ level above, which you got near but didn't reach quite yet on yesterday's move. So if you do get upside, watch this 406.50. That's going to be a major area above to be paying attention to. All right? So, right now, right, my game plan right now is 400. That's my pullback level to watch for longs. That's pretty much the only spot I'm really interested in longs. Maybe the 402, right? Maybe the 402, but I am more interested in that 400. If we get that pullback, I'll be watching if there's a long entry there. If we push to the upside, cautious of the 406.50. That's definitely a level that has rejected in the past. That's a level that could reject again. The other thing that's a little interesting is where this 20 SMA is, right? This 20 SMA is sort of just sitting here around this 404. So eyes on that 40 on that 20 SMA as well. All right, ES. Now this one is pretty clear. Okay, the ES is pretty damn clear here. And the levels to watch for pullbacks, I think, are pretty clear as well. So, big push, right? Major squeeze up to the upside yesterday. Where did we push into? We pushed right into 4,800. So that level makes a whole hell of a lot of sense, right? 4,800, easy level, psychological level, clean level, 4,800. You can see that is exactly where we rejected after the move to the upside yesterday. That is, right, very clearly our previous lows here, right? Some previous rejections here, previous rejection right there. 4,800 is the key level to be watching today. So if you trade back into 4,800, right, that is potentially, that would be one of my short ideas, is if you trade back into 48, you have a little double top form and you start to weaken again off this supply. That could be an interesting short entry, right? Another little weak attempt back higher, start to see that 4,800 rejection step in, and that could potentially be the short entry to watch. Now, of course, if you break and hold 4,800, you're going higher, right? That's very clear. If you break and hold above 4,800, you're going back into the 4,830, without a doubt, right? If you are able to turn this level into a new support today, you're going into these highs around 4,830. That would be the most bullish move of the day. Now, let's zoom in and let's get an idea of what pullback levels I think you need to be watching today. So the first one is 47.70. Well, hold on. Let me adjust this chart for a second because there's a few. The first one to be watching on the pullback is 47.70. Well, you could also call it the 20 SMA. So first, let's start here. 20 SMA, right? That's number one. 20 SMA, number one, 47.76. That's where the ES is trying to hold right now. So watch that daily 20 SMA today intraday. Okay, number one. Number two, this high, 47.70. Watch this 47.70 as well. Next, right, you have this high, this Thursday high, 47.65. After that, you have 47.60. Right, so there's some interesting and potentially difficult areas down below that you need to be paying attention to, right? Because there's Wednesday highs of 47.70, there's Thursday highs of 47.65, and then there's Friday highs of 47.60. So every 5 points here, you have a previous high on the ES, which could act as some type of a demand. So it could be a little bit tricky there. That could get a little bit tricky, right? Because if you, let's say you break down the 47.70 and you start to enter shorts here and you move into 65, that could hold, right? Let's say you move under the 47.65, you start to enter shorts here, the 47.60 could hold, right? So a little bit tricky down there, right? Because you have a lot of previous day highs that could act as new lows. That's a little bit tricky. I'd be paying attention to these 3 highs on the ES today. They could act as demands on pullbacks. So watch out for those. The strongest hold, I think, would be above like this 47.70 zone, right? If we just hold this zone, this 47.70, if we hold that 20 SMA, that would really be the stronghold for that push back towards the 4,800. All right. I'm trying to think of where you would want to be bearish today. And to be honest, right, the only really bearish thing you would see today is if we get back under 47.40, right? If you get back under these highs, this would really be a very aggressive bearish move. But, there's obviously if we're trading at 47.40, then there was already short entries somewhere along these lines, right? So a little bit hard, right? A little bit hard to read on the downside today. The upside supply is very easy, right? That's 4,800. That's clear as day, right? We know that level's there. That's not, anyone could find that level at 4,800. It's going to take a lot of intraday management and intraday price action reading to get an idea of what happens at these pullback levels, right? This is going to be up to you, right? Up to your price action skills to understand what's going on at these levels. You're bearish under 47.55. Yeah, I mean, under 47.60, I'd say you could be bearish, right? If you delete those. I would say under this high, under Friday's highs, if you fall back under 47.60, then I'd say you could get bearish, right? But again, here's the problem, right? You got to be careful of the 47.40 because, yeah, if you get bearish under 47.60 and you trade shorts into here, you better be a profit taker into that level, right? Because this could be a hold. And that is the exact level. Let me show it to you. The 47.40 level is the reason you moved higher yesterday, right? Look at this ES yesterday morning. This is something I missed as well. So yesterday overall, after reviewing my trading day, I missed a lot of stuff. And that's going to happen, right? It's one of those days. This is yesterday. Look at this. See this 47.40? See those 2 wicks right there? See how clean that 47.40 hold was? That was, right? That was the previous lows and these previous rejections from Friday. See this previous rejection from Friday? You held above that perfectly yesterday intraday. That led to your upside. So that makes sense, right? Logically, if you trade back into this 47.40, be careful on the shorts, right? Be careful on the shorts. So a lot of levels to watch, and it's a day of sort of price discovery, right? It's a big day after a big move, and it's going to take a little bit of management to read this correctly. So for me, here's my levels once again. I'm watching this Wednesday high, I'm watching the Thursday high, and I'm watching the Friday high, right? Those are the levels that I'm watching. What happens at the previous day highs? That's it. Do I see holds at Thursday highs? Do I see holds at Friday highs? Do I see holds at Wednesday's highs? Those are the 3 areas that I'll be watching to see if there are holds. And of course, the 20 SMA is something I'm watching as well. All right. SPY. The SPY cleans it up a little bit. I'm not going to lie. And maybe the SPY is the right thing to watch today because the SPY cleans it up. And here's why. So maybe the answer to our question today is just watch the SPY because this is very clear, right? This is as clear as it's going to get. 471 on the SPY is the previous highs, right? And it is also the 20 SMA. So that really, I think, is your answer to the questions that we just had. If the SPY is above 471 in the 20 SMA, this is a pullback opportunity. If the SPY breaks under 471 and the 20 SMA, it's moving lower, right? I think this is your answer right there. I think that's middle of the road, middle of the seesaw, middle of which side are we going to move. 471 on the SPY is the previous highs, right, from last week and the 20 SMA. It's all stacked up right at that 471. So I think that's the level to watch today. I think I'll definitely be sort of tuned into where that SPY is trading today. 20 SMA SPY, 471, and then, of course, your previous lows and previous highs right in that area. That's the level to watch, 471, okay? Supply above 475, and then below that 471, demand at the 468. 468, 471, and 475. Those are my levels to watch today on the SPY. So what do? Right? You look for the pullback longs. You look for potentially, nice, did it again. You look for the break and hold below, right? You look for the pop and rejection, right? Or if you get over that 475, you're moving higher. All right? I think the SPY makes it pretty clear there. IWM. Interesting, right? I took my profits on the IWM puts yesterday early morning. You could see that in my video from yesterday. But this is sort of interesting, right? I'm sort of interested again because what just happened on the IWM? You pushed higher into that 20 SMA and you got rejected pretty aggressively. 197, right? 197 is still technically an area of supply there, right? You have 197, 197, 197, 197. So definitely still some lows in that area, right? You had a big push yesterday back into that 197, which was also, let me zoom in here. If I go here into the 15-minute chart, you see this? Look at this right here. 197, previous highs right in that area at 197. You pushed right into that area, 20 SMA, and you're rejecting. So this could be interesting, right? If this 197 is the level we start to fade off of, right? If there still is this gap fill move potentially here, you can see this, right? If we still have more downside to fill this little 188 area, this could be a new short entry around that 197, around that 20 SMA, right? And around that 197 previous low and that high right there. So I'm definitely going to watch this again, right? I'm not going to shy away from this idea. It's definitely still interesting. There is definitely some demand to watch around that 192. That level has held pretty nicely. So obviously be careful of 192 demand. If you do get downside, be careful of holds here. It was a very nice hold yesterday from that previous low. So watch out for 192. But that 197, a little bit interesting. Something to watch there. And seeing if there's more weakness off that today. All right, it's 8:33. We got almost 2,000 people in here. And we have 600 likes. You know what that means, my friends. You know what that means. If you guys could, press that like button for me. I'd appreciate that. Take a second, relax, take a deep breath, get a sip of your coffee. We're about halfway done here. Press that like button. Cheers. Who else drinks black coffee? If you do, you got some hair on your chest. Or we got some people that probably drink coffee with the vanilla, caramel, hazelnut, sweet cream, creamer, 6 pounds of sugar. Those are the Fib Boys, right? The Fib Boys drink that coffee. Oh, man. The Fib Boys are those drinkers, man. Sip your beer. The Fib Boys drink the creamer. Nothing. I'm just messing around. Nothing against you, Fib Boys. All right. Let's continue. Let's continue. G Fuel. When Warzone with Doc and Z-Laner, I wish, man. I love. They're great together. All right, Tesla. Here we go. Here we go. We just lost. What did we lose? We lost 200 people from the ad. Oh well. So you guys can see right here, 238, 238 on Tesla. That's the level to watch. All right, right in that area. 238. 1, 2, 3. Right, 4. Yes, and this morning 5. 238 is an interesting level on Tesla. Now, I do not, and I will reiterate this, I do not like Tesla in this area. I just don't like, I don't think it's worth a trade. This is not good action on Tesla, guys. The market went straight up yesterday. Tesla did not even get above that 100 SMA supply level, right? You can just read it even from the 15-minute chart. Look at all the wicks on the 15-minute chart, right? Think about what this looks like on a short-term time frame. All these wicks, you can see the wicks in the price action. It's not easy to trade Tesla in this area. It's been very wicky. It's not getting good continuation moves. I would be careful in this area. It's really, you're not missing out on anything, right? When you look back at Tesla over the last 4 trading days, you haven't missed out on anything, okay? So I would be cautious trading Tesla in this zone, right? There's going to be a day that Tesla wakes up. I guarantee it, right? That's something I can guarantee. There will be some day in the future that Tesla has a monster day, whether it's to the upside or downside. And when that happens, you will be able to tell. You will be able to tell in the intraday action. You'll see the price action. You'll see the smooth movement. You'll see the strength or the extreme weakness. It will happen. But I think you wait for that, right? Tesla is good on those days. Tesla is a beast on those days. When Tesla's ready to go, whether it's up or down, but when Tesla starts flowing, right, you can tell, and those are the days to make money. When Tesla is in this sort of slow, shitty, right, choppy, doesn't really go anywhere type action, it is disastrous, and it is very dangerous to trade, okay? So be careful trading Tesla until it gets a move on, right? Because this is Tesla's chart. On the hourly chart, you have done nothing, okay? So I would really want, in my opinion, I would want a rejection here or a break above here for movement, right? I would want a break above here to get an actual movement above 244. I would want a rejection here for a potentially nice supply rejection trade up at this 244. Or, right, I would want Tesla to trade back down further into that major demand, right? I would want Tesla to trade back further into this 230, 232 area, right? I would want to get us back into this area for a little bit more interest. As of right now, you are stuck in the middle of this channel, right? Look, channel high, channel low. Look where Tesla is. It's right in the middle of it, right? So wait for this. Wait for us to get out of this. Wait for us to get out of this area before getting major interest in Tesla. It will happen. There will be a day where you get out of this channel high, channel low area, where you stop going, just sort of doing nonsense in here. That is what I would wait for, okay? That's just my recommendation, all right? That's my recommendation, and that's all. I'm going to leave it there. All right, Nvidia. So, I mean, what else? My son is going to be called Nvidia. My daughter will be Nvidia. Everything will be Nvidia. I mean, just an awesome stock. All right, let's just take a second and bask in the glory of how awesome this stock is. It's a beast. It's a beast. I've been, if you're part of the group, we've been, horned up on Nvidia for a lot of years now, and it's paying off, man. It's paying off, and it's beautiful to see. So, what a move yesterday! What a monster move yesterday! It went up like $30 per share in one day, and that is nutso. So she's a beast. She's a beast, and congratulations to you guys that caught this one yesterday. What an awesome move. Now, all-time highs, right? All-time highs on Nvidia. What does that mean? We're in price discovery mode, right? Because there are no supply levels. There are no supply levels. It is in price discovery mode. So, in that situation, you need to watch the intraday action. That's all you can do. All you can do is watch the intraday action and see where the levels hold or reject. So, these are my levels. This is what I'm going to be looking for today to see if there's any action. Number one is the pre-market lows right in this 422 area. This is number one, okay? That's number one. That's the most aggressive one. Number two, 515, 516. That's this previous high from yesterday and where we held intraday and traded more upside. That is 515, okay? Number two, right? I think I can do free draw. Number two, number one. This is number one. That's number two. Number 3 is here at 510. You move to the downside, potentially 510, something to watch. Number 3. Okay, it's a really ugly 3. And number 4, right here, number 4, which is the major one, the best one, is the retest of previous all-time highs. That is the sexy one, right? This and this, if you pull back to that 505, this is where you really want to look for that pullback long. Now, do we get the liberty of seeing 505 on Nvidia here? I don't know, right? I don't know if you're going to get that. That would be a nice pullback. It would be sexy. I would love to see it. I would love to potentially long it. But do we get it? I have no clue, right? I just don't know yet. Nvidia might just want to keep going, man. So this is what I'm watching, right? This is what I'm watching. I'm watching the 522. I'm watching the 515. And I'm watching these lows from intraday around 510. And I'm watching to see what happens off these levels, okay? If you really need to short Nvidia, which I would not do, okay? Why short the strongest name on the stock market? But if you really want to, I would look for these levels to reject, right? That's what I would be doing. Look for these levels to turn into new lows, into new highs. I don't want to get anywhere near that, right? There's just no reason to even incite or even instill that emotion and sweatiness in my day. I just don't have interest in shorting Nvidia. So I'm going to look for pullbacks, right, at these levels, and the juicy one would be 505. It would be 505. All right, that's my game plan there. AMD, again, a juicer, big upside. 141, right? We got above it. That's that previous high and a straight up move. Now, where's Nvidia or where's AMD trading? AMD is rejecting right around this 147 level. That is this previous high right here. All right, so you can see 147, 147, 147. That's that little double top high that's coming in. So that's pretty interesting, right? That's pretty interesting. 147. Look at how it's double topping right now as we speak. So I'm not opposed, right? I'm not opposed, right? I will not be, I don't care, right? If I'm going to take my shots where I think risk reward is there, right? And so I am definitely not that opposed to looking to see if that 147 rejects, because we could potentially retest this 141. Look at the price action in this zone. Look at the price action in this zone. And you can just sort of envision, right? Straight down, straight up. Okay? If this level, 147, turns into a double top today, right? This could be a potential short entry back into that 141. And a pullback to 141 is still bullish. Okay? Don't get that twisted, because that pullback is still bullish. That is a retest of the breakout point, right? And it is still technically bullish. So, yes, I do like that short. I think there's opportunity there, but you better be a profit taker into that 141, right? Be a profit taker into that 141. Potential demands below. I would say you're going to want to see us break under this 145 before that idea starts to get going, right? I would want to see us under that 145 before that idea really starts to get going. So if you can get under this 145, that could be where this pulls back to that retest around 141. That's something that I would be watching today. Okay? That's something that I would be watching today. Watch this 147. Now, of course, if AMD does this and holds, you're going higher, right? If AMD does that and holds, you're going higher. So watch 147. All right, let's go to Boeing, because there could be day 2 here. All right, day 2 is potentially here on Boeing, because look at what happened yesterday. Pre-market highs, you rejected it all day. You rejected pre-market highs the entire day on Boeing. So this is a very major demand here today, and it must hold for Boeing. If Boeing starts to slip this low, this 50 SMA that held all day, I think you're going to see downside continuation. All right. If it does not hold and you start to reject this, I think you're going to see this thing give up a little bit. Now, if it does hold, right, you could definitely trade back into those pre-market highs here and just sort of channel here. So I would be watching this, right? This is a pretty key rejection of pre-market highs yesterday around that 234. If you push back into this, I'd watch for rejections. Now, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, and this is where you have to be open to both sides, because if Boeing gets over that pre-market high yesterday, it's going to try to fill that gap most likely, right? And that is not a move that you are going to want to be short in, okay? Because that could be very aggressive. So if Boeing does get above that pre-market high from yesterday, this could be, right? This could be that hold area. So watch out for that 234. All right, watch out for that 234 and that 226. All right. So that's Boeing. Let's go to, where do I want to go? I want to go to Netflix, because look at what Netflix is doing, man. And this was that bear flag we were talking about. And this is sort of interesting. Netflix got a downgrade this morning. A little bit of a downgrade, right? And you moved back into these lows right around this 485. So the supply was a little bit higher, right up in this 485 area. You got that move into that 485. I'm actually going to delete this for now. So look at this, right? Previous lows, 485. Look at the move into that level yesterday, right? You moved into that level, and you have a major gap down today off of a downgrade. Citigroup downgrades Netflix, price target 500. So yeah, price target's higher than where it is, but causing downside, right? Is this going to break down? Is this something that's going to break down on this bear flag? I'm definitely going to continue to monitor. I think the target here would be like 460 if this really does continue, but I am definitely interested to see if this bear flag breaks. I would probably look to see if this 20 SMA acts as a rejection today. Right around this 480 area, I would look to see if this 20 SMA acts as a rejection area. Right in here. 480, 20 SMA. If we stay under that, right, then I'll look to see if there is more weakness on Netflix on this gap down. Okay? So that's something I'm watching there. Coinbase. So yesterday I shorted Coinbase off this supply high, right? You can see you're right back at it. You're right back at it. So if there's any weakness, you guys saw the trade I took yesterday and the straight downside off that 160, 140. Look for it again, right? Look at what it's doing right now. You're getting a little bit of wick action up at this supply again. Look to see if this wicks again. If you break above it, then yeah, it's going higher. But watch this 160, 140 on Coinbase. Big level there. Amazon. So this was a level okay, this could get real interesting. See, and this is, and again, right? This is trading, and I'm just, guys, I'm fully transparent with you, and I just talk my mind, right? Because this right here is a fantastic short in my opinion. However, right, I need to be cautious of the market. If the market starts to rip again, I have to be cautious looking for these short side plays, right? Because in my eyes, this is a really, really interesting short side entry, right? And why is that? And there's logic behind it, right? So if I lose on this type of trade, there's really nothing I could do about it. It's just, it's part of the trading game. But look at these highs. Look at all these rejections, right? Look at those previous lows here on the 30-minute chart, right? See all that? And look at where you're starting to reject again today. So in my eyes, right, if we cannot get above this 149, 148.50, this is a really nice short entry for more downside, right? On a break and retest, a little supply rejection of this level. Now, do I get it? I don't know, right? I don't know with full confidence if I do get it. But that is something I am, again, going to watch. This is something that I watched yesterday and actually caught a nice little trade off of. I'm going to keep an eye on it again. Here's some levels that you probably want to be watching before you short this move, right? You probably want to break here, and you probably want to break this. So this could be a hold. This could be a hold, right? And those are the areas you need to be careful of before getting too aggressive on the short side. So around that 147.37, 147.50, and then that 146.50 are two potential hold levels. But this supply above is major. So watch that. Interesting stuff there. Google. Yeah, Google supply. I would look to see if this holds now. Right, that's what I would look for. Does this 139 turn into a hold level? Right in this previous high. Right here. Does this turn into a hold level at 139 on this pullback? Break, retest. Does this hold at 139? That's what I would watch. But you can see there's definitely some supply highs around this 141. So watch out for that as well. Let's go to Apple, because what did Apple do? Apple sort of helped the market higher yesterday. Apple held that 200 SMA. So congrats to anyone that took longs off the 200. That worked out very nicely. Very nice long off the 200. You moved into supply at 186. So that's your supply today, 186. And what you're going to look for today now is if we pull back, do we hold the highs? Right? If we pull back today, which we are right now, do we hold these highs? Do we hold? I would actually move this down to the 100 SMA. I would put a line right near that 100. Do we hold that 100? That's going to be the key for Apple today. If we pull back, do we hold this 100 SMA area around that 182.50? That would be the watch for me. Okay? 100 SMA, previous highs. If we pull back to that area, does it hold? If we fall back below the 100, this is getting weak again. All right, guys. I think I'm going to leave it there. There's a few more you could look at. Meta, right? Meta with a nice push yesterday. I need some time to post some charts for the group, so I'm going to head out of here. Meta up at that 360. Obviously, there's a few more to be looking at, but I'm running out of time, and I got to run. So, yeah, right? We're giving back a lot of it. We're giving back a lot of it. And so, once again, 16,630, 16,580. Pullback levels, ES. Right here. This 470.70, and in my opinion, the easiest level to watch today is this. 471 on the SPY. That's the easiest level to watch today. Do we break? Do we hold 471? Or do we break back under it? I think that will answer a lot of questions today about the next few days on this market. All right, that's all I got, guys. If you could, press that like button. If you appreciate the channel, if you appreciate the information, the content, the education, please press that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. Help me continue to grow the channel. Continue to share it with your friends. Share this video. Say, hey, man, guess what? I just made $1 million trading with Desi. I'm just kidding. Let them know it's a realistic trading channel and it's not no BS fluff. Thank you, guys, again. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.